This is generally my war team. This spot here changes in between 6-gun, Smokescreen, and Warpath, all depending on the base type. But I'm going to tell you how my bots work, their job within the team, because yes, you can look at someone and go, well, he's used for that and he's used for that, but maybe not. Maybe I use these slightly different than you might. I might teach something new and go, oh, that's interesting. Who knows? So, pipes, my general setup for pipes is with Quintus and Solus, because you do lose pipes sometimes if you're not careful, run out of points. So I do like to have Solus on him, and that is going to be the next combat weapon that I upgrade to 11, just because it's so good at combat, it's hard not to. Then I have Quintus on him. I just like those sharks that get pumped out. And I like also towards the end of the battle, if you're having a bit of a problem, you can rush them into an area. And then when you're taking out a few defenses, then the sharks can go and help you do that and distract them as well. So I do like Quintus on pipes. Yes, for the HP rather than DPS. I'm not a fan of seeing Quintus on gunners. I know that some people have Quintus on tracks, things like that. I'm not a fan. I like them there not to do damage, because I feel like they get killed quite easily anyway with a low HP. I have them 4 HP. So if you're creating a shark gun with 20% of your health and your pipes has 50k health, then it's 10k there or thereabouts per shark gun. That's a lot of HP to distract those defenses. So really good setup for pipes. Next is Beachcomber. I know people say to me, why take Beachcomber on offense? It's crazy. I keep him set up the same on defense as offense with Jazzy and with his G1 core. And I think that even after his nerf, I'm probably keeping the team. It depends on his survivability. But the reason that I like him in the team is that he reflects so much damage back. Plain and simple. And I don't just mean defenses, I mean for when you're fighting the outpost bots, when you're fighting combiners, and even if your Titan does lose in battle, having Beachcomber in position as one of the forward bots, if possible, actually can kill the Titan as well. He's got amazing survivability and just hardly ever dies. And if he does get a bit low on health or whatever, then you can just use the ability. And honestly, I think he's really good on offense. And the more I use him, the more I'm liking him on offense. A lot of times we're on the last bot standard, even when I get in trouble. So really good. Next is Rook. We're going to go through shortly about why Rook's come back into my team again. I did take him out for quite a while, but he's found his way back in for a certain particular base type and a certain particular reason that you will see shortly. And these base types we're seeing more and more now, and so that's why I'm finding that Rook is more and more in my team. I also didn't have my Cronus in my team for quite a while, and so I needed to get my Cronus in there just for that bit of extra healing. So having my Cronus back in my team has helped a lot. Having Jazzy in there, blocking damage, giving him extra HP as well, is just amazing. Then we've got Blue Streak. So Blue Streak is set up with Volatile Mixture and with Nightstick. So the reason that he's got Volatile Mixture on is plain and simple that I'm trying to get him to do the most damage possible. So I generally use him to take out low HP structures at the bottom of the base, to take out buildbots, or to reduce the HP of the shield gen and MDS area. Because it's so versatile in terms of what he can sort of take out, you tend to find that with his first shot, I'll take out a buildbot. And you tend to find that buildbots come in range a lot sooner than the shield gen does. If not, if I find that the buildbots at the back of the base and Blue Streak can't reach them, that's where I put in Warpath or I put in Smokescreen, depending on how far back they are. It all depends on the base type, like I said, but we'll go through that shortly. And then Nightstick, just to obviously try and keep him alive and obviously do that acid damage against Beachcomber. Then we got Leo Prime. dead simple, standard setup with his G1 core to increase that amount of ability damage, and that won't change after his nerf, I don't think. I still think he'll be decent enough, just not burn it down as quick. And then obviously SP Optimus Prime, as I did a ratings video last week, one of the best minion combats in the game. So really, really good to boost your DPS and just to get you through bases quickly. Next up, Wheeljack, we have him set up with his G1 and with Rung. I do like to set up my healers, one with Rung and one with CL. So one obviously does reflection, one just does a shield. But both in tandem obviously protect your bots for not a lot of damage. And then you can't go through a war without Alpha Trion. Honestly, it baffles me whenever I see people showing war teams without Alpha Trion. Baffles me. It's worth about 20 extra points per battle. So you'd be mad not to take it. Honestly, I think the Alpha Trion is the core you have to fit in your team without question. Probably followed by my probably followed by Quintus. Quintus after Alpha Trion. But Alpha Trion for me the most important core you have to get in your team. And it just suits being on a healer because they don't have to have a core as such. And lastly is the sort of interchangeable spot. So if you've got buildbots that are right at the back of the map, and I mean right at the back, but there are plenty of points available at the front of the base, then I will generally use Warpath for that, especially if I can take out 2 buildbots with one hit. If the buildbot is next to a shield generator, then I will generally use Warpath. Sometimes you can hit a buildbot that's next to the shield generator with Warpath twice, and it won't kill it if it gets hit with Micronus just before you hit it with the Velocity Shell. So it's a good idea if you are taking Warpath to take a White Creme Zeke for the first shot. Don't forget, you get a White Creme Zeke or Glass Gas on the second shot anyway after the first shot. But obviously the first shot just does its normal damage, which is 4460. So a good idea is to put a White Creme down, use Warpath, and use them again. You don't have to, but just aware it that if you get the timing wrong, you might have to use a third go with Warpath, and then it gets really expensive. You know, 5 plus 2 means 5, 7, 9. That's 21 ability points used. So it's just a really good idea to use a White Creme Zeke just in case. It just takes that bit of unpredictability out of the equation if you do that. And as I said, sometimes I put 6 gun in, so my setup with 6 gun is with the Cosmic Rust Blaster and Volatile Mixture. Again, Cosmic Rust Blaster just helps with that fire acid. I like 6 gun against high HP outpost bots, so against the top wars. But again, it all depends on what the priority is. If the build bots are right at the back of the map, then I probably can't afford to take out 6 gun. Take 6 gun in my team as well, and so it depends on the base layout. If I can take down the build bots, the fire build bots, mostly because I use Leo Prime to clear an area. If I can take that out with Blue Streak and my Titan, then I tend to find that I can take 6 gun and take out the bots really quickly with 6 gun and do a lot of damage. So yeah, I love 6 gun to take out some good outpost bots. And then we've got Smokescreen. And we've got Smokescreen with his G1 and Peacemaker. I absolutely adore Peacemaker on Smokescreen on front-loaded bases. I explained this in my war chat yesterday. So he's really good when you're coming up a front-loaded base and you want to take out the fire build bots. I did a video on this a while back, which should be coming out, I think, this week, about taking out front-loaded bases. So you're dropping right at the bottom of the map, and you're taking out the build bots. And that was in place before Peacemaker ever made it into the game, really. But what Peacemaker does is, as a little added bonus, is with these front-loaded bases, most of the time, you'll have the spider mines at the front of the base. And so Peacemaker obviously hacks 2 enemies. And the closest one is usually a spider mine. And so it's just great to hack that spider mine, and that spider mine does extra damage for you as well. So really like Peacemaker. I'm actually considering putting the 4-star Peacemaker on Blue Streak as well, because when you use Blue Streak and Smokescreen sort of take out Billbot and do damage to the shield gen before I even start my attack, then I'm debating, obviously, like I said, using 2 4-star and 5-star Peacemaker. It'd be interesting. Now, listen, the fact it hacks every 45 seconds, that's not very good. I don't like that. It's 45 seconds. It's pretty rubbish. But the point is that as soon as you drop the bot, it does hack 2 targets straight away. That's the bonus bit that I like. After that, the fact that it hacks is irrelevant. But yeah, Peacemaker is really, really good. So, like I said, it all depends on the base layout. If the billbots are right at the back of the map, and even Smokescreen can't get to them, then I'll use Warpath. If they're not quite at the back of the map, I'll tend to use Smokescreen. If the billbots are at the front of the map, then I'll try and use 6-gun. So, and it also depends on how many billbots there is. If there's 1 fire billbot, I'll probably take 6-gun. If I want to see you have to do some extra damage against the outpost bots. If there's 2, I might take 6-gun. I might take Smokescreen. I won't take Warpath though. If there's 3, I'm definitely taking Smokescreen rather than 6-gun. If there's 3 and one of those billbots are against the shield gen, I'm definitely taking Warpath. So it all depends on which base it is, design for that last 1 slot. But that's how I sort of run my war team as a walk team. I'm just walking through bases. So yeah, let me know if you use any of these bots in your war team, and let me know how you use them. Do you use them different than me? Different setups. Let me know, and I can maybe try them out.